And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, traders. It's the end of the trading day. It's time for the market reflection. Tuesday, January the 24th. My name is John Hogan. Thanks for trusting with your time. We always start the day with a deep breath. I think we should end the day with a deep breath. Take a look at what happened today. I've got a very friendly puppy here that wants me to pet her. She was just barking out the front window. Somebody must have been walking with a dog out in front, and she's very upset that she wasn't out there to say hello. As far as the equity indices are concerned, the S&P is unofficially down 4 points, 0.1%. NASDAQ down 20 points, 0.18%. And the Dow up 115 ticks, 115 points, up 0.34%. Crude oil takes a dive down to that $80 level, closing at $80.13, down $1.49, 1.8%. Yes, Kevin, that's walk envy for sure. She's sitting here. She won't let me stop. She keeps moosing me. Maybe you can see those ears up here, but she's a sweet puppy. She's a good girl. Maybe I'll take her for a walk after the reflection here, although that got her ears perked up a little bit. Without any Fed speak, we know what we had this morning as far as economic numbers. When those came out, we are just seeing Microsoft coming out right now with some not very good numbers. They missed on both earnings per share and revenues. Missing revenues, they were looking for $53.12 billion. It came out $52.7 billion. And earnings per share, they were looking for 2.3, came out 2.2. Texas Instruments beats expectations. However, let's see what we're seeing here in the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's up 80 points after the close here. So the NASDAQ, I guess, agreeing to disagree with Microsoft. But with no talking Feds, and we know that we had the PMI numbers this morning. Where were those? Both of them for manufacturing and services came out better than expected. So maybe that gave us a little bit of buoyancy in U.S. equities today. We did recover some early losses, so that's a good thing. But again, with no talking Feds of our own, we're kind of looking at what happened with the ECB's talking Feds, if you want to call them that. They were pretty hawkish today. The ECB should keep raising interest rates by 50 basis points. There's concern about inflation despite seeing some good readings, so they're not ready to take off the foot off the gas, so to speak, in the ECB. One quote I saw today from our president, he says he's not going to let Republicans wreck the economy. So we've got that going for us. Nice nonpartisan comment there, but well, thank goodness he's here to save the day, right? So we're going to take a look at what happened in these charts and start thinking about what's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow as far as economic numbers are concerned, it's a kind of a thin day. Really, the only thing to speak of is going to be the EIA Petroleum Status Report as we prepare for durable goods and GDP on Thursday. Of course, we're all well aware that we have the FOMC a week from tomorrow. So now the focus after Thursday will, of course, be all about the FOMC. And with the talking Feds with their gag orders, because it's 2 weeks before the Fed, we're going to be really just, I think, doing a lot of posturing and hedging between now and, between Thursday and again. So good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to see the Rooster at the top of the list. He was first this morning in the room winning the prize. He's first in the room this afternoon. Good to see you, Crow and Rooster. I hope you had a good trading day, and that goes for all of you, of course. Caesar, Vince, good afternoon. It's Taco Tuesday. I think we are going to be having some baked cod, some air-fried cauliflower, and maybe some mac and cheese with that. I'm not quite sure what, but I know we're having cod and cauliflower. We're trying to eat a little bit better, and that's always a good thing. Good afternoon, Kevin, my good friend. It's good to see you. Bill, Walk Envy, that was funny. Yeah, she's wondering why she's not out there, right? Anthony Bell, good afternoon. Yeah, Scalper's Paradise today. Take those 4 to 10 point moves. Really what it was, right? Good afternoon. Is this spike after 4 p.m. part of the profile? We'll take a look at that. Typically not, but it depends on what the market does from this point forward. Hang on just a second. All right. Haggle Matters. Brian puts it right at the 200-day average. Well, we could take a look at that close anyway, Brian. George, good afternoon. Lacey was over here saying good afternoon to you. Anissa, good to see you. Alex, Frozen Gumwad, is that squeaking sound your trading platform letting you know you entered a trade? No, that is Lacey's favorite toy. It is a kind of a pink rubber ball that's kind of like spiny, and unfortunately it squeaks. It's a good thing she's not really going at it right now, because it would probably be difficult to hear anything else. Sometimes she gets really rowdy on that thing. She's giving us a little bit of a break here. She's just kind of lightly nibbling on it right now, but oh no, she's got another toy now. She's got a quiet toy, thank goodness. Kevin took nothing but shorts today, had more, but ended up 5 points in the YM, 54.5 points in the NASDAQ, and 2.5 points on the ES. So nice job, Kevin. You know, I know you were in make hog money today, and the way things started today, I was looking more to the short side. Unfortunately, that didn't really work too well for us, and I'm proud of you that you made money when you were looking only at shorts. You must have been very patient in looking for good trade locations and taking profits. Wasn't, like it was a big directional move today, but after make hog money, I didn't really do much in the S&Ps and anything really. I spent a lot of time today just kind of watching and pondering what's going to happen. Oh, now she's got her squeaky ball again. Uh-oh. I think we're in trouble now. Good afternoon, Michael. So there wasn't anything that really turned me on the rest of the day today in the S&Ps. Wasn't really focusing on crude, which might have been a better idea for us. Gold, I think maybe there was some decent opportunity, but I've been really trying to kind of focus on the S&Ps of late. Lacey. Yeah, there you go. Get the other toy. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, no, she's stomping on the squeaky ball. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look through these markets. We're going to start at the top left with crude oil this afternoon. I was kind of surprised to see this move to the downside, to be honest with you. But, the market took price right down to where it sounds like the government is going to start to refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Our energy secretary yesterday kind of tipped the hat that may be what they're thinking about doing. They had said they were going to buy it at 70, never got the chance. It sounds like they're going to be paying up. So really just remaining somewhat range bound. We didn't really get a good test of the weekly kickoff, of last week's high today. I'm going to go right to the 30-minute chart. The market opened, I'm not sure right now if the opening range was the high of the session. If not, it was pretty close. We know that the initial balance high is the extreme of the regular trading hour session high here. And really just kind of opening below value at the low value from yesterday and rejecting value, but really staying range bound. We've got last week's high as the upper extreme. We've got weekly kickoff low and last week's low as the lower extreme. I'm thinking this is probably more short time frame, although we do have a positive delta at the end of the day today. So there may have been some hedging from longer time frames, either getting out of some longs or adding to some short positions, which is a bit of a surprise. We'll see it tomorrow morning on the open interest. Here's the TPO chart. Pretty much kind of a trend day, high continuing lower, couple of distributions, finding balance down here near this low of range. We see that we have this weak low here. We've just weakened that low even more by putting in a somewhat of a weak low at the end of the session here today. We'll be looking for some possible continuation to the downside to clean up some of this weak structure that we've left down below here in the form of these naked points of control. TPO is checked. Not this one, not this volume point of control or this TPO point of control. So I can see us getting into the 70s for a little bit here. We'll see if the White House really starts to move on refilling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Don't forget, we are looking forward to the EIA petroleum status report tomorrow. I'm going to take a look and see what the expectation is. We're looking for almost a 1 million barrel boost according to the EIA. Remember last week they were looking for a small draw, and there was an 8 million barrel boost in crude stocks here in the U.S. We're looking for the API today at 330. But we should probably be done with the reflection by then, so we'll have to see what happens with that after the close here today. Take a look at the E-mini S&Ps. I'm very pleased, honestly, with the way the market resolved today, even though I was kind of looking at more of a pullback and repair between these two ranges here. And that really didn't come out until after the open. We know that we've got the 200 session moving average below on the daily and on the continuation chart. That's good. We saw on the continuation chart that we're holding above a major trend line, and that today is the second day of closing above that trend line. That is right here. Let's go. There it is. So now we've got day 2 of closing above that line. We didn't even get to really where the support level would be against that trend line today. So we are holding at higher levels, and time to me is one of the features of the auction process that tells me the market is accepting right now price at higher levels. What does that mean for tomorrow? Well, today we did have a decent overnight inventory that was a little bit short by the time we opened. Basically, all we did for the rest of the day was unravel overnight inventory. What was the volume like? What was the volume like today in New York? It's going to be pretty feeble. Low volume, 3.2 billion shares traded. That's the lowest we've seen in quite some time. So the market is telling us Yeah, we are settling in to be prepared for Thursday. We ended up more of a hangover day than anything else in the equities. We did finish the day relatively strong. This spike above price, is this going to be a late spike? Take a look at this on the TPO chart. It doesn't exist. Okay, so this is the 3 o'clock close. The spike did not occur when longer time frame traders were available to affect price. So what I'm going to be looking for is between now and 4 o'clock, does price maintain up here? Overnight, do we accumulate overnight longs? Do we open with a gap above the high here? If that is the case, then I will view this as kind of a late spike, and I will use that as a nuance to look for longs. But if we can't hold in the late spike in the overnight or open up in or above the late spike, then I'm probably going to be a little bit more cautious, because again, tomorrow there's no major economic releases. We know we're going to be posturing and hedging for Thursday. All right, so NASDAQ. All right, really good test of the weekly kickoff high, which is 12,020, within a point and a half of it, 6 ticks before kind of coming off the high. We did add a bunch of open interest on these up moves in the equities yesterday, in the NASDAQ, Dow, and the S&P. What are we going to do today? Volume a little bit low again, and it's kind of to be expected on up days, and then a couple of days before some important economic information. So, just looking at my notes from this morning, we had the P-shaped profile and the point in the TPO chart. Value low from yesterday puts in kind of our low for the day. We have a little bit more excess on the high than we do on the low here. We still have excess. I mean, this is the NASDAQ. These are 4-tick TPOs on this chart. So there's at least 6 or 7 TPOs on the end of this for excess. We've got a little bit more excess on the high here. That doesn't really concern me. The possible repair, it was more likely in the S&Ps, possible repair to this naked point of control down here. If we open in this area tomorrow, if we open lower and even with a gap to the downside, then I think we fall into repair. Gold, some pretty decent opportunity in gold here. So we are still testing and seeing if we can't accept above last week's high. Opening, taking a nosedive, taking a dive, and then coming right back up. I mean, this is looking relatively positive for continuation to the upside. We've got to exhaust the sellers above last week's high. We need new business to come in. What did we have? We had an additional 6,200 in open interest on this day. Look how similar these days were. The market opened, drove lower, closed higher. The market opened, drove lower, closed higher. A little bit of a pattern here. Here's the TPO chart from gold. Haggle matters. Would you consider adding the end period for the 3 o'clock to 3:30 period on my S&Ps? I don't. I'm trying to keep it true to the regular trading hour session. Gold excess, low excess. This is a weak high up here. There's no excess up here. that could bode for more continuation. It's an unfinished upside auction. We had a P-shaped profile today, which after adding open interest yesterday, did we add shorts yesterday? Doesn't look like it. Let's look at the euro. See how the euro did up against last week's high again. No acceptance above it. Another test to it. 30. Almost same day as gold. Opening, cleaning up some business down here in the form of the naked point of control here from Friday. Testing. This whole area up here is going to be a lot of fun. 10-year. This is the 30. So, range-bound rules rule. Testing near last week's low and finding buyers down there. The market is rotational, buying low, selling high. We must have had a decent move down in... Let me see what rates did today. Oh, yes, we lost about 5 basis points in rates, so the market turns around. Here's the 30. Near the low end of balance. Stop short a little bit. What doesn't happen is as important as what does. And boom. Man, I really got to slow down and focus a lot more on some of these other markets. I'm seeing some possible decent opportunities, and I'm missing them because I'm busy. That's all right, but the natural gas, this is the 30, opening in range from yesterday, taking another test down to weekly kickoff low. It's been trying to accept down below it, unsuccessfully trading straight down to it today. Again, there's a stack of buy orders down here. If we exhaust those buy orders, then those longs down there will start taking heat. Will selling beget more selling, or are we going to stick our heels in the dirt here and support this market? Here's the daily. So this area here between the weekly kickoff low and last week's low, critical pivotal level there. All right. So yeah, Microsoft up big after chart language. Good to see you. Well, we got lots of folks here today saying hello. So back to Anthony's question. I'm sorry, Hagel Matters. Wait, where was that? Hagel Matters question. Would you add the end period? I think that was Hagel Matters. I don't remember who it was here. And no, because if I'm going to go back to the charts here for just a second, I'm going to use the S&Ps. Okay, today's a little bit of an anomaly. The volume after 3 p.m. was pretty good because we were putting in a new high. But when you look in the past here, this is the 2:30 to 3 o'clock bar. The 3 o'clock to 3:30 bar, the volume drops off. The longer participants are done for the day at 3 o'clock. Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern. What would that be? 1 o'clock Pacific. So they're done. They're not acting on the market anymore. So if we did have this spike after the 3 o'clock close, it's mostly going to be short time frame traders. Did they get short, and did they need to cover to go home flat at the end of the day today? It's possible. Is there good information in that? Maybe. Probably not as good as a late spike in, between 2:30 and 3 o'clock, because then you've got all the participants available. The more participants that are available, the more I trust the information. Some of our participants are already done for the day when we put up this range extension. Does it make it a late spike? Only if it's important, right? And discussing this, today during looking at these charts, if we open above this, I'm going to treat it like a late spike. If we open inside of it or certainly below it, then it's not going to have the same kind of power. So got to see what happens after here. We've got another 30-minute bar coming up here. If the next 30-minute bar moves lower, I'm going to view this as excess. So I guess in a way, Haggle Matters, you could say I would be looking at this as a late spike, but with a little bit less importance than if it had happened during regular trading hours. Chart language, truer words were rarely spoken. It's tough to stay humble, but the market is really good at it, right? So what happened in history today? 1965, Winston Churchill died today. 2006, Disney announces a $7.4 billion purchase of Pixar. 1935, the first can of beer goes on sale. The first time they put beer in cans. 1848, gold is discovered at Sutter's Creek in California, the home of the 49ers. And in 1908, the Boy Scouts are founded, actually, in England. I did not know that. A lot of big birthdays today in the music world. Ray Stevens' birthday is today. He was born in 1941. He's got a lot of kind of funny songs, right? The Streak, if you remember The Streak, that was Ray Stevens. Today is Neil Diamond's birthday, also in 1941. Everybody loves Neil Diamond, and he wrote songs for so many people, not only himself. If you didn't know, the Monkees song "I'm a Believer" was written by Neil Diamond. Wrote for Elvis Presley, Deep Purple, Bob Dylan, Neil Diamond, truly an American treasure. 1941 also, Aaron Neville's birthday is today. One of the Neville brothers, of course, but had a 1966 single, Tell It Like It Is. Warren Zevon's birthday is today. If you know Warren Zevon, you love Warren Zevon. John Belushi's birthday is today, 1949. Big John was born and we've gone way too early. And there was one thing here. 1969, the Doors appeared at Madison Square Garden today. They were paid over $50,000 for the gig, making them one of the highest paid acts of the year. For you Doors fans. And who isn't a Doors fan? Yes, Zach. Tomorrow and Thursday, the market profile course, basics of market profile, some of the nuances that we talk about often here on the market prep and the reflection. And then Thursday, a discussion of the auction process, the 4 features. It's like a table with 4 legs. One of the legs is missing. the auction is faulty. No, Froze, that's right. That's no Taylor Swift money, right? But 1969 or 1970, $50,000 for one night? Wow. Okay, so what was I saying? Yes, tomorrow is 12:30. Market profile in the auction process. Some of you that have been attending the group coaching sessions are going to see a little bit of reiteration in some of the stuff we're going to see tomorrow, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Looking forward to those that are attending tomorrow that aren't familiar with open interest and delta and volume and how to organize that information. Also, for those that do attend, we're going to have a special gift for you. We talk about having an outline or some sort of guidance to do your homework. We're going to have a good suggestion for that. You're going to be able to take that along with you. Okay? Kevin, I wish you guys were live the whole day from open to close. Be careful what you wish for. It just might come true. All right. Let's call this a day. Get some good rest. Reasonable expectations tomorrow. Anything can happen. Certainly anything can happen on Thursday, and I'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning at 7:45 for the market prep. We'll get ready and we'll see what we can work out here. All right. So again, get some rest. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 7:45, same bat time, same bat channel. Blessings to you all. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Say a prayer for world peace. Blessings to you all. Have a good night.